What's good, y'all? Hey. This is your girl, Reverend Juju, and welcome to another episode of Speak Pink. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. Hey. Is your girl, Pastor Ju, Reverend Juju, and thank you for being tuned in to another episode of Speak Pink. I'm so glad and grateful to have you on with us this morning or this afternoon or good evening, whatever time it is that you will tune in and listen to another episode of Speak Pink. So today we are talking about Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. It is my favorite scripture in the whole entire Bible. Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. And I don't always reference scripture when I'm doing my Speak Pink podcast because I know that everyone who listens and tunes in may or may not necessarily be a Christian or study out of the Bible, but it is one of my favorites because that scripture reminds me every day to let my light shine. The text simply says, let your light shine. And then it goes on to talk about letting it shine before men so that they can see, God in you and that God will get the glory. But what I really want to focus on is those first few words. Let your light shine. It is 2020. We have come to the end of January, or tomorrow's the end of January. We're now about to go into February. And this is the time, this is the hour, this is the season, this is the moment to let your light shine. You don't need anybody's validation. You don't need anybody's confirmation. You don't need anybody's permission to let your light shine. The year has started. You've had the month of January to get your bearings on 2020. Now it is time to let your light shine. Now it's time to flip the light switch on and go get it. Flip the light switch on and be about it. Flip the light switch on and go handle it. Flip the light switch on and go possess it. Now is the time. And there's three things that I want to share with you in this series podcast about letting your light shine. Three things I want to share with you to let your light shine. And the first one is live authentically. Now, I cannot say that all of my 48 years I've lived authentically. I had to learn, first of all, what the word meant. And then I had to go through a few life lessons to understand how to do that and why it was important. And so I am at a place now and in the last several years where I make it a point to live authentically. And what I mean by that, and authenticity is really being true, like letting your true self come forth, being true to yourself, not true to yourself to the extent that others are being hurt, but true to your essence. Authentic living is living in a way that's true to you. I'm a pastor, I'm a preacher, and I remember early on in ministry, they would make references to me as being the hip hop preacher or the preacher that was cool, right? Because when I might show up to a meeting with jeans and a t-shirt on when everybody else would come in with a church outfit. I've always been a little different, but I've always enjoyed being authentically Najuma. And over the years, I've stepped more and more into my authentic self. And what I find is great freedom in living authentically. And I had to learn that. I had to learn how to be confident enough or confident in the way that allows me to show up as myself and to live authentically. And there really is no other way to live. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the movie Mr. Deeds, but the movie Mr. Deeds is a very interesting movie in that, and it's a Tyler Perry film, in that throughout 90% of the movie, the lead role is Tyler Perry. And he plays the role of a lawyer, an attorney, or something like that, someone in law. And it's not until the end of the movie that we find out that the only reason he pursued the profession and dedicated his life to that particular profession was because it's what his mother and his father wanted for him. And he didn't start living until he met someone who pushed him to live authentically. And then at the end of the movie, he tosses away the profession that he's lived for a number of years and literally rides off on a motorcycle to live his authentic self. And that's what I want to encourage you today. I'm not saying get on a motorcycle and ride off, but I am saying if your life is framed in a way or it's lived in a way, it's to please somebody else, it's to make somebody else happy, it's to make somebody else comfortable, then that's not the life of authentic living. That's the life of living for somebody else. And you're not living for your dreams, for your hopes, for your future. You're living for somebody else. And so the way that we let our light shine is we live authentically. The second way we let our light shine is we show up intentionally. And this one was tough for me because I was, for a long time, scared of my own shadow, if you will. Scared to open up, scared to talk, scared to say something. And I had to learn, I had to grow into showing up intentionally, showing up in meetings with the intention of letting my voice be heard, showing up intentionally at a gathering to meet and to network people, showing up intentionally to get my ideas put out there, to be at the table, to be seen for the purpose of pursuing my dreams. I had to show up intentionally. And a lot of times we just kind of show up hoping somebody will recognize us, hoping somebody will see us, hoping our ideas will get picked up, hoping our vision will come to pass. And here's what I'm telling you. Take your life into your hands to a degree. I do believe God and the universe has a whole lot of plans that I don't understand. But there is the part that's called my part, your part. And with my part, with your part, the thing to do, the way we let our light so shine before men, the way we let our light shine is to live intentionally. Intentionally show up. Don't show up haphazardly. Don't show up randomly. Be intentional every time you will show up someplace. Be intentional with your goals. Be intentional with your outcomes or what you like to see as an outcome. Be intentional of how you want things to go. Be intentional of what you plan to do. Don't let life be so random and so happenstance and just, the luck of and living by the luck of the draw. No, there's too much at stake. And I want to encourage you to show up intentionally. Next time there's a meeting that you attend or a gathering, be intentional when you show up in that place and have a purpose. Have some meaning to it. Have some definition behind it. And then the third way that we live and let our light shine is to not hide. If you're a hider, and what I mean by hiding, there are people that go to parties just to sit in corners. Or they go to conferences just to sit in the way back on the last pew or the last row in the last seat in the back in the corner. No, that's not how you let your light shine. When to let your light shine, you've got to come from out of hiding. And maybe you're hiding because you've been hurt. Maybe you're hiding because you've been disappointed. Maybe you're hiding because your confidence is not at its level best. Maybe you're hiding because you don't feel secure in yourself. Maybe you're hiding because people talked about you. Maybe you're hiding because you're afraid of judgment. Maybe you're hiding because you never felt like you were recognized or seen. And I want to say to you today, it is time to come out of hiding. It is time to try to hide behind somebody else or trying to hide behind something else or trying to hide behind an issue or trying to hide in the way back corner of the room. It is now time to come out of hiding. And I don't know about you, but when I was a little girl, when it was time to come out of hiding, when we were playing hide and seek and it was time to come out of hiding, the person who was doing the seeking would say, come out wherever you are. Come out wherever you are. That was the signal that wherever you were hiding, it was time to come out. And I want to say to someone listening, come out wherever you are, wherever you're hiding, whatever you're hiding behind, whoever you're hiding behind. It's time to come out of hiding. It is time on this January 30th, 2020, when we're on the cusp of going into February. We've got a foothold on the new year. We've got our bearings together for January, and now it's time to let your light shine. Now it's time to live authentically. Live your authentic self. Don't try to be nobody else. Be you. Be all of you, and love and embrace all of you. It's time to show up intentionally. When you show up at work or at school or around a social gathering or a social event, be intentional with your presence. Be intentional with your presence. And number 3, come out of hiding. Stop hiding. Stop hiding behind issues. Stop hiding behind things. Stop hiding behind people. Because it is your time, it is your season to let your light shine. And then the text goes on to say, let your light shine before men. It is time for the men and the women in your life and in your circle, in your community, to see your light shine. Because when your light shines, it gives others permission to let their light shine. When your light shines, it is a blessing to those around you. It illuminates life. It brightens life. We need your light to shine. So in this season, as we close out today's Speak Pink, let me remind you to let your light shine. Let your light shine. Peace. Hey.